Let's go, he says. Okay, so maybe I didn't need to tag you. Itsdaddy. This is Sacred Springs. It's the designated first map for this tournament. It's India tournament. There's nothing too Indian about this map, of course, but it's just a means to switch up what's usually always Arabia for the first map. So this is lots of shorefish to be taken. It's beneficial for any civilization, as the shorefish food income is the fastest food source in the game after Mongols hunt. They're both playing the Hindustanis here, which is a strong scouts into camel civilization, but considering they're basically the equivalent of the, or they are basically what used to be the Indians, they also have fully upgraded cavalry archers, which could prove quite powerful on this map. It's going right into the middle here for the lumber camp, which is not a bad call actually. You could easily wall off here, you could wall here, and suddenly any aggression towards your woodland needs to move all the way around or break through your walls to do so. With that said, the Hindustani's scout line, they have +2 bonus attack against buildings, so there you could use that to your advantage to break through enemy buildings or walls. Was Tiger is suggested to be to go straight for the middle. Does Tiger know this map even? I mean, it's going to, it's either that or the back one, which is decent as well, but the middle one arguably less exposed. Bringing in the board from a distance here, loom is in, so that shouldn't be an issue. Might as well get an early loom here because your short fishers will be always be exposed as well. Bringing in the boar. There's a boar over here as well that could be taken. Sometimes players do, sometimes players don't. I mean, you could rather place 1 or 2 meals and really benefit from the fish food income, and you don't need the boars. But if you're able to pull them in, that is 340 extra food for you to benefit from. So why not? BBB on point here with the scouting finds that wood line, and Itsdaddy reacting, pulling the scout back, going to get the first hit here. Yes, indeed. And the red player is now at a disadvantage with the scout's hit points. Good lane the boar, actually, if you feel like it. Bit of a far distance to travel, but that would be a food boost as well. Obviously, you'll want the scout to scout here, and also as an offensive unit to hit the opponent's economy. Looks like BBB is extending a mill to the right-hand side as well. Did not take the boars, as far as I can see. No, didn't take either of the boars. What? What? Well, he's got loom, he's probably fine. He's carrying meat, though. He's carrying a heavy pack here, so he's going to be subject to some boar aggression here. How's this gonna work? I think Itsdaddy might need to flex some... Uh-oh. That's only 4 villagers to take out the boar, though. I'm going to have to flex some serious quick wall skills here to survive this one. Or block. Or move. Oh, quick wall! Nice! Good save. Well, war lane confirmed. I don't think BBB minds all that much. BBB has 2 meals appearance. We're bringing in food and even going to the feudal age ahead of Itsdaddy here, so that's not horrible. If you look at the idle TC time as well, Itsdaddy is going to go up at what is essentially the same population as BBB, actually 1 villager less here. But still going to be behind because of the higher idle TC time. They're struggling to balance the food economy here, apparently, to keep the villager production rolling. the barracks and a couple of houses to keep the woodland somewhat safe. Not liking this style of walling though, because you could still hide archers here if you're BBB, so or even place a tower on either side. So not loving the house placement here from Itsdaddy. Would be certainly be preferring covering more in towards the edge here to disallow any ranged aggression to hit the woodland. But if you're planning to be the aggressor yourself, that's not necessarily going to be an issue. Well, village is in for both. They're probably both dropping the stables as well. Here we go. Yeah, there's the stable to the left-hand side for BBB, and Itsdaddy will need to react to whatever comes from this direction, whereas BBB's food income on the right-hand side is rather exposed now, with no spearmen to defend this food income. You could, of course, fight the first few scouts with villagers, depending on how Itsdaddy plays this, if he's going to slowly mass them up before engaging, or just continually harass the opponent's economy.
Ready.
Yay.
So the spearmen are out on either side. No, not really on the left-hand side yet. Because BBB may or may not have scouted. No, I didn't really scout the stable either. But looks like this is actually the side where Itsdaddy will be engaging. They're somewhat matched in scout numbers, but the spearman defense of BBB is out of position. We'll have to resort to fighting with villagers here, which means that Itsdaddy could potentially get some villager kills here. So this is where the action is at. They're not really touching each other on the left-hand side, right-hand side here. It's on the left where everything is happening. Look at the overview here. It's like similar in military and economy for both here. And this could go either way at this stage in the game. It's a feudal age heavy map with the difficulty of walling and the incentive of controlling the exposed food sources to the side. So I like this map for that reason. Really promotes extended feudal age play.
Yay. Mandatum. Ready. Mandatum. Yay.
Defensive scouts. Okay, so the scouts are both on the right hand side now, and BBB's food economy has been running rather smoothly here as far as I can tell. It's been mainly on the left hand side, forcing reactions. Did we get any kills? No villager kills, but there's the first one for Itsdaddy. And yeah, could have sniped the spear if desired as well. The KD overall is 11 to 9, so that's quite even between the players, but that first villager kill makes a difference, even though Itsdaddy has a higher idle TC time overall here. And some questionable farms. Let's not talk about the farms. Well, extending into farming economy will eventually allow for a smoother castle age transition. Neither player has gone to gold yet, so this could be a game ending in feudal age for all we know. They're both certainly heavily committing to feudal age here with the scouts and spears, and neither of them have added archers or skirmishers yet. I guess skirmishers don't really make sense with the scouts out on the field, but you could still add archers if you're going to gold, and that's the case for BBB here at least. And just now going to gold. And Itsdaddy also going to gold here next to the woodline, which is a interesting placement here. Spearman fight over here, the house foundation. I don't know if that was meant to block pathing or if it was intended as an actual house, but the spearman numbers are in advantage of BBB here. And in the meantime, while focusing defensively on the left hand side, BBB takes a hit at home base here. Cleans it up though, but the Eco KD is pretty much similar between the two. And it's only the idle TC time making the difference here. The market, BBB is floating lots of wood here, could actually buy Castle Age with this kind of resources. Maybe that's the idea of the market over here, as the left side seems safe, nice and safe as well, even taking the boar over here now and defending to the right. These players strike me as rather evenly matched here. I'm not sure about the actual elo difference, but certainly been some nice defensive efforts here from BBB to the offensives of Itsdaddy. More stables going up, both going Castle Age here. Are we going to see the camels next, or the... yeah, we're going to see the camels because it's a double stable, and neither player actually dropping ranges either. So not cavalry archers or crossbows or some such here. It's going to be the full-on cavalry, light cav and camels here. I think it's 100 elo higher than you, okay. Fair enough. But that's not a huge elo gap though. Pulling the villagers to fight, pulling in the boys here for Itsdaddy as the scouts go down, and it's 6 military to 12 BBB actually with the military advantage here now. Bloodlines coming in, that suggests of course that the players are going for continued cavalry here. Both camels and light cav of Hindustanis have bonus damage against buildings. Both players reaching the Castle Age at exactly the same timing here as the production buildings of Itsdaddy are a bit compromised here. What's the camel upgrades like? No bloodlines for Itsdaddy here, even if the resources allow for it. 2 stables, how many for BBB here? It's also 2 stables. But bloodlines already in, and now the first armor coming in as well, as Itsdaddy is going full on for the attack here. And I think the idea is to contest the enemy pikemen maybe, but yeah, this could get rough, as BBB already has 7 pikes out, and doubling up on that will not be able to take out this stable before the Bloodlines upgrade, of course, but could get some lucky hits in on the camels as they pop out. Good raids to the left hand side here as well. That's villagers not protected by spearmen or pikemen here. These light cav or scout cav, sorry, really getting value here. That's 3 or 4 kills already from BBB here. Camels join in, but it's kind of too late. It's going to be at least 2 more villagers going down here. And even maybe another one. Fantastic value from the scouts to the left here, even if the camels will clean it up eventually. Right hand side here, only one scout inside of here. Itsdaddy struggling a little bit for consistent production here now with food and gold in the back, floating a bit of resources here, not being put into use. Now queuing some camels again, which is good. BBB extending the economy now and securing some gold and wood access in the middle here with an additional town center as well. Probably happy with the development of this game, relying on pike defense now against these camels, and considering that the camels don't have the defense upgrades, the pikes will still deal decent damage to them. But currently the camels are trading nicely for Itsdaddy due to the lack of critical mass of pikemen here for BBB. So some decent counter raids here. Sneak villager or BBB to the side here. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but to pop up some stables to the side here, that could be really annoying for some eventual sneak raids from the top side there. This should be devastating to food in combat, so there's lots of villagers going to go down for BBB now to Itsdaddy's double at fully attack upgraded camels here. Yeah, now it's Itsdaddy getting the villager trades here, and then maybe for the first time in the game now at an actual villager lead over BBB. However, it's 1 TC to 2 here. I think it's the correct call of Itsdaddy to commit to 1 TC here and try to take that army momentum advantage, but killing villagers doesn't really make too much of a difference here now, given the ease of replenishment for BBB compared to the, with the 2 TCs to 1 here. Yeah, now the army situation is well ahead for Itsdaddy here. 16 camels to only 7 army from BBB here. So I'm adding some monks, adding a lot of monks actually. Maybe wanting to snag the relics for some additional gold income here. And of course, planning to convert enemy offensive units here, offensive camels or whatever might happen. I'm assuming Hindustanis get redemption as well, because the old Indians used to do that, and they do indeed. So you could also convert siege weapons if need be. Also the siege elephant, or the armored elephant rather, and siege elephant, they can be converted by monks without redemption, as long as you are right next to them. Speaking of siege workshop being added here by Itsdaddy at home base. And yeah, we'll see what kind of unit gets added here. If it's a siege elephant, you'll need more food, and if it's scorpions or mangonels, you're gonna need more wood. So yeah, it's the scorpions, and that's against the pikeman investment of BBB. That makes sense, honestly. Now, military size well ahead for Itsdaddy here, but the economy situation could escalate out of control for Itsdaddy here if BBB is allowed to leave these 3 town centers producing freely. Just a quick glance at the scouting here. Itsdaddy doesn't really know about this expansion. Has seen the second TC, of course. But not the third one. That's a threatening mass of camels, I have to say. It's like still twice the military of Itsdaddy here, but now a little bit on the passive side. It is 1 TC to 3 at this point. The camels have bonus damage against buildings, but you'll also need to make use of them before the eco situation escalates out of hand from BBB here. BBB getting redemption, expecting or seeing the siege weapons here, have seen the siege workshop after completing the outpost over here, so redemption, good good call for now, getting a conversion in there as well. So 1 free camel for Triple B here. Scores dead even. Population is pretty darn even as well, but Itsdaddy has slightly fewer villagers, but notably more army on the field here. The Arbor Elephant is back. See how this push will fare. BBB does only have few ledge upgrades for the pikes, and the Scorpions behind from Itsdaddy here as well should easily take out the small numbers of pikes here, I believe. Monks, of course, an issue to consider, and redemption for the monks is in here. Such an arena clown play here of BBB getting 2 Scorpions in here, and will proceed to... Where are these villagers even going? They're going for a forward castle, aren't they? They are going to drop a castle, and they want to drop that castle no matter what. Yeah, okay, that is an offensive castle if I ever saw one, right on the 2 monsters here. And the monks aren't really large enough in mass to make too much of a difference here. Or, yeah, we'll have a look at the conversion stats later, but that's a significant commitment of builders to that castle. But that monastery goes up right at the castle spot as Itsdaddy tries another spot there, but can't place the castle amongst all the builders here, and it's a good old mess here. And what's he gonna make from that castle anyway? Yeah, forward castle, facilitating a continued siege push or whatever the follow-up might be here, but it seems like a huge commitment as well when you're already behind. Forward siege workshop, forward castle, triple monasteries for BBB here, and the monks are going to get more and more value as this goes on. Triple monasteries producing. I have a feeling Tech Chariot would like this game. And even the defensive castle, good defense from BBB here. The castle goes up low, and it's right on the monasteries, and BBB calls the GG. I mean, you're heavily outmassed in military, so I guess that's the main difference here, and that the fact that this castle goes up on all this production could be an issue, but yeah, I think I had a feeling that BBB had a better eco running here as well. There's camels on the right hand side raiding a little bit, and the efficiency diminishing here, so it's that he actually takes this one. We're going to get BBB's home map next, but first a look at the stats. Yeah, villager count pretty similar. APM count generally higher for BBB here, but didn't matter in the end. The blue player takes the win. Let's see what the next map brings us. Oh man. Next map is Water Nomads and a Dravidian's Mirror. Nice. Nice. Such a chaotic map. The Water Nomad it is, and Dravidians, definitely an A tier civ. No, S tier civ for Water Nomads, no question about it. That extra wood in its own, 200 wood granted once you advance to the next stage. That is essentially one free dock or several free galleys for the Dravidians. It is a mirror though, so it's not any significance to the development here. BBB picks Water Nomad as home map, and you'll note that this guy has played Water Nomad before. The town center goes up on gold and wood here, so that the gold source is safe, and you couldn't say the same thing about Itsdaddy here, considering that the golds are out of range of the town center, but doesn't necessarily matter. It's other things that comes into play here. Oh, smart move there, moving the fishing ship close to the dock so it can immediately drop off here once the dock completes. Nice. The Dravidians, they do carry plus 15 as well, which is another indirect bonus for Water Nomad, because once you get the dock up, you'll probably have collected food with your fishing ships already. So that once that food gets dropped off, you'll get 15 more food from each of the first drop-offs here. They place the TCs fairly far away from each other here, and the way that BBB has situated the economy here, it's cramped up in the corner, but it's still keeping the gold income safe, which is crucial to be able to make your galleys in the next age. And Water Nomad is all about galleys, galley mass. Whoever masses the largest amount of galleys first is generally in a good spot to keep going. One fishing ship not working for BBB here, probably committed to scouting to try and find the location of Itsdaddy here. That is some food economy lost though, so I'm not too sold on the fishing ship scouting here as opposed to scouting with water buffaloes. You'll see that Itsdaddy has a massive food lead here now, even with fewer on food, because of having committed the fishing ships to food and not to exploring the map. That should give Itsdaddy a significant fuel age head start, assuming he remembers to place the second building being what will likely be a lumber camp. That would actually be a nice lumber camp spot there. One house here, one lumber camp there, and your wood source is going to be hard to hit. Good scouting from Red. Makes use of the fishing ships as said to scout the map. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but it does delay your food income, which is concerning to me. Here comes 22nd villager for Itsdaddy, and then Loom, and then probably the fuel age click, which is already 14 villagers, I guess. Yeah, it's decent. It's a 22 eco total up here. It's probably possible to go up even sooner, but it's going to be a significant head start over BBB regardless. BBB with 16 on food now, really trying to get there. Another villager for Itsdaddy actually, so not going up just yet. Missing that second building, so that's probably why. And the second building is the mining camp, not the lumber camp. And that's fine, you'll need the gold as well. Second dock, while going to the village here, is that something BBB will be able to scout? BBB, not really. Yeah, it seems I've forgotten about this fishing ship. So again, that food economy is a bit on the exposed, or on the not exposed, but on the suboptimal side for BBB here. Look at that fuel age. Just 1 minute, 5 seconds left for Itsdaddy, and BBB didn't even click yet. Just clicked. Needed the lumber camp to do so. It's it's queued behind the villager, so it's going to be 1 minute 10 seconds lead or so for Itsdaddy to the next stage here. Score is of course deceiving, but that's just scouting here. Itsdaddy hasn't really stressed the scouting bit. Small walls going up here as well, so that the gold and wood sources can't be hit. I would have totally expected that to be a lumber camp, but that is in fact a house in the corner here, because why not? If you give Dravidians villagers can drop off wood at houses bonus, then I think that would be truly OP, so let's not do that. No lumber camp for Itsdaddy, I believe, so that is a bit of a concern, because you really need efficient wood income to sustain your multiple docks production as well. But the galleys are in production, and it is going to give a head start by far to the military size of Itsdaddy here. It's usually a very good sign to have that kind of early production for Water Nomad. There's the footage for BBB. Let's have a look at the docks here. Third dock on the way, not completed yet. Of course, the other two docks are producing the galleys. And the lumber cap is up for BBB, so that could be a significant advantage in terms of wood income, assuming that double bit axe gets researched here, of course. If BBB is trying to, if it's, I mean, the blacksmith is going up, but that's probably just for the fletching. But looking at the resources, could almost pull off a fat castle here, actually. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Itsdaddy didn't really commit any buffaloes to scouting the map with any significance here, so it has to split up the armies to try and find BBB. This is precious time being lost here, not having scouted the opponent earlier, but the fact remains that it's 4 galleys to 2, and they both producing out of 2 docks here, so with consistent production, Itsdaddy should still keep that eco lead. That military lead, I mean. Eco situation is quite comparable. Both players with fletching, so no significant advantage there. One fishing ship to go down for Itsdaddy is also committing to more galleys, obviously. Trying to collect the armies here and also pull the fishing ship away to conserve it. This should be allowing for good trades for Itsdaddy here, and is also bringing in the buffaloes for additional confusion here. The offensive buffaloes. Very easily clicked in together with armies, of course. But somehow, BBB has been able to catch up here. I think it's due to the fact that double with axe is in. It makes production quite a bit easier. And of course, BBB with the later fuel age is on the defensive here. This is going to go down to Galley Micro, and the Galley Micro seems on point for Itsdaddy here with similar-ish numbers of units. They're both a triple dock production of galleys now, but with those snipes there, Itsdaddy actually back ahead. Taking the opportunity to snipe some fish as well, so that's some precious eco kills there. 4 fishing ships killed by Itsdaddy. Again, sending in the water buffalo, maybe intentionally there to cause red to misclick, but pulling back home to regroup with the reinforcements, and now establishing an eco lead behind this. 11 to 9. Not a fight that BBB wants to take necessarily here. Little repair micro here from BBB, and again they're fighting at reasonably similar numbers here. It's dangerous for Itsdaddy here to fight with a tiny military lead here, because there is this fighting close to enemy home base. Still getting good trades here though, and that's not a demo, that's a regular galley, so the blue player goes out ahead here. 11 to 6 military now. Fire galley joins in, careful, got to snipe that, otherwise the armies will be going down quickly here. These galleys, they are quite weak to fire galley fire. But that's nice snipe yet again, gets another one. There's 16-7 KD. Great galley micro performance here by Itsdaddy. Still consistent production here, as BBB has committed more to fire galleys here in hopes of taking out the galleys, but you could always hit and run with the galleys. Fire galleys shouldn't necessarily work on this map unless you're stuck in a choke point with your ranged galleys, and Itsdaddy just gets great trades here. It's hard to snipe the repair builder in the midst or anything here, but you could use the alt key to toggle the builder if so desired. It's convincing scoreline now for Itsdaddy. Again, needs to address the fact that fire galleys pop out from the docks here, but seems on top of things here. Eco lead indeed, and also now outmassing in military. It's a 2-0 for Itsdaddy here. Arguably the underdog in the matchup here, but that's where it ends in the feudal age with a 2-0 for Itsdaddy. Is this the sim with big ship? Yeah, it's the one with the unique Itsdaddy, the galley killer. So that's it for another India Cup set here. GG's.